Hi guys, how you doing? This is Dan with Index Option Trading, and here is the chart of E-mini S&P 500 Index Futures on November 9th after the market close. And here's a quick look on the chart. As you can see here, this is a rising trend line from the March lows, and these are the highs 1099. We are comfortably lodged here at 1088, almost the same distance as the previous highs that we have made on these futures here. So we have already reached this level here on it, and this is the price is definitely above the 50-day moving average as well as the rising trend line. So we're reaching those highs, and I think we'll be setting some new highs here quickly, very shortly. Let's take a look at SPX year-to-date chart here, and these are the trend lines here. The index is getting somehow a little bit, it's not oversold or overbought, it's in the middle here, about 50s, stochastics. And if you look at it, we had a nice big candle here. The price is definitely above the above the rising trend line and above the 50-day moving average, and it closed today at 1093. This is SPX year-to-date chart here. Let's go take a look at these charts here one by one. RUT. The index RUT is not doing as well, and as you can see here, it had a steep drop here in the last 2 weeks and hit a low of about 550, and is still very oversold here, and it yet has to manage and close above the 50-day moving average, which is sitting there at 1590, 595. And I think there would be some trouble here and resistance to it. Unless there's a lot of momentum, it may not be able to break through it. So we just have to see how this goes here. The trend lines are indicating that it should definitely punch through it here, but in the next 1 or 2 days we should be able to get some confirmation of this idea. It has to go above this 50-day moving average in order to be in some and go back to this trend line, which we have, and to advance to higher positions. So that is the condition on it on RUT. Here is the chart for NDX, which is our NASDAQ. NDX is looking here pretty good here on this chart here. It is 1788, is 1768. I can see what is happening here. It's not changing SPX for some reason, but that's besides the point. There's a problem here somehow, but let's ignore that for a minute and just look at the NDX chart here. It is well above the 50-day moving average. It's going to hit this rising trend line at 1768 and probably punch through it. Stochastics is not semi overbought, I would say, but not really quite. It's still in the low territories of oversold conditions. And now let's take a look at SPY and see how the volumes have been doing here. Let's go. Hi, this is a quick chart on SPY, which is SPY, and as you can see here, we have managed to close above this rising trend line after moving up from this 50-day moving average. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Today was the 6th session that we have gone up on a bullish stance in the last 6 sessions, and we're now above this rising trend line at 109.57. And the volume, if you look at it, has been declining as we are moving up in the market, which is very different than what you should be seeing. The volume should have been increasing here, but it has not. And if you look at it, there is a divergence between the volume and the bullish movement that we're seeing on the stocks. And the conditions are still overbought. It's not very oversold, or no, it's not overbought. The conditions are still oversold, and it has just to manage to get to the overbought levels. So there is a lot more to may come, but the disturbance is that this divergences between the volumes and the movement of the SPY are two different things here. Let's also take a look at IWM and see how this is faring. IWM is meeting its 50-day moving average at 59.22. The volume is also declining as the stock moves up, and it still is in the oversold conditions, and the stochastic is, but the volume, the divergences between the volume decline and the movement up is very notable. So this is a key point here in some of these reversals and other conditions that we may see later on. We just have to see and get a confirmation if IWM is punched through. We'll be able to punch through this 50-day moving average at 59.5 and moves up higher. That's all for today, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.